up, and welcome back, everybody. On today's episode, we're here in the new snake room. If you guys look around, you'll see a little bit of the artwork we hung up. We got a few new cages, and we actually got a new addition to the reptile collection. Now, I told you guys in the last video we were going to go ahead and we were going to sell those old cages. So we went ahead and we sold them. They were 3-footers, and we got these big 4-foot sliding PVC locking enclosures. Now, this right here is our new addition. This right here is an albino boa. This is actually a little male. Now, my good buddy Patrick actually gave this snake to me. Now, she did just strike at the glass. Now, that's the reason I'm using the hook. Obviously, because I just don't want to get bit. But usually, cage aggressive snakes, once you get them out of the cage, they're super cool. Look at the colors on this boa. Now, she looks a little bit feisty. She might strike, but have a go at that tail. So beautiful. Look at that snake. She's got a salmon tail and an almost completely white ivory looking head. So now when my friends come over and other people and they want to hold a snake, now I have a beautiful boa for everyone to hold. Now it won't take long. We're going to calm down this snake and she'll be super, super sweet when it comes to being handled. Now we don't have a name for this boa either, so if you guys want to go ahead and name this boa, comment down below. All right, now we have to make a few little modifications before we throw some venomous snakes in here, but the two big covers, the monocold and the Indian, are going to be upgraded into these black PVC enclosures. Now right here, we actually have the squam. Since we're here, we'll go ahead and clean him first. This little guy is from my buddy Andrew Gahuli. It's a super beautiful snake. Now these guys are variable, which means they come in all different kinds of colors. This one right here is actually a fiery red. Crazy green-eyed viper. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna throw this little guy right here in this bin. We can clean his enclosure and stay nice and safe. All right, guys, have a go at this little cobra right here. This is my pastel monocle, a super fiery snake. Now the bush viper, not only did she get her cage cleaned, but we're gonna give her a cage upgrade. Look at this. We're actually gonna put her in this big exoterra, and I plan on getting a few more. So we're gonna add some branches and some stuff to climb on in just a little bit. And then soon we'll actually have a trio of African bush vipers. And now that the squam has a new home, we'll have another exoterra free. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna grab this Insularis right over here. He's got a little bit of stuck shed, so we're gonna soak this little Insularis. We're gonna throw him in this exoterra. And we're actually gonna get a few more Insularis from Tyler Nolan. We're gonna get a green, maybe 2 more blues. And we're just gonna go ahead and we're just gonna have a bunch of little baby Insularises in this enclosure right here. So enough with this bin. Everyone's getting upgrades. The Cobras are getting upgrades, the Squams are getting upgrades, and this Insularis. Now when you're soaking baby snakes, you want to make sure you don't put too much water. Just a little bit. Now they'll actually drown if you put too much water. Just with soaking and treating and spraying down these animals, that skin will come right off. But this guy's going to love this forever. Huge new home. Until he gets bigger, then we'll throw him in a larger exoterra. All right, now the next snake we're gonna handle today is this Arizona blacktail rattlesnake. Now this snake right here, just like the albino boa, is a very, very cage aggressive snake, but once you get her out, she's not that bad. She had that classic Western Diamondback display for a second. You can hear that rattling, just how loud it is. But we're not gonna mess with this girl too much. We're just gonna throw her in the bin, clean her cage, and move on to the next. All right, now a lot of you guys don't know what we use when we clean our snake tanks, but this is exactly what we use. This chlorhexidine solution. A lot of you people just see a big blue mysterious bottle. This right here is one of the best products when it comes to cleaning venomous snakes, or snakes in general. Now, if a snake actually digests some of this chlorhexidine, nothing's gonna happen. They can digest it, they can get some in their water, they can get it in their eyes. This stuff is perfectly safe and healthy for reptiles. Now, Tequila has a nice and clean home. We're just gonna take her out with this snake hook. Ooh, look at that. That rattle's moving so fast, it just looks like a blur. All right, we're gonna bring her over here. And while we're over here servicing her cage, let's go ahead and let's start with that Indian Cobra next. Now he actually climbed up on his LED light and he ripped the electrical cord out of the light. So let's go ahead, let's take that Indian Cobra out, soak him, and fix his light. All right, now let's get this Indian Cobra out. She's actually gonna be getting a new home too. So we're just gonna take her completely out of this cage, and I really don't know what we'll put in here next. Maybe we'll give Tequila an upgrade and we'll throw her in there for now. But look at that. She's gotten most of that stuck shed off of her body. She just She just has one eye cap stuck, it looks like. All right, guys, we're gonna give this big, beautiful Indian Cobra a little bath inside this bucket. Now, if this shed doesn't come off in the next 24, 36 hours, we're actually gonna have to pin this snake, peel that eye cap right off. Now, what you don't want is for that eye cap to stay on during the next shed, because once you have two on there, it actually turns into a huge problem. All right, Robert, pass me that. This is a little bit small, but we don't have any clean trash cans, so we're just gonna have to make do with what we've got. All right, y'all, this right here is Tika, the Indian Cobra. Woo, look at that hood. Oh, she is not happy about being in that water. All right, let's get Tika into her new, beautiful home. Now, she's gonna love this cage a lot more. She's gonna have a lot more room to go ahead and stretch out. It's a much more darker cage. We don't have lights on it, so she's gonna feel a lot more better inside this deep, dark cage. Since we're handling cobras, let's go handle that pastel monocle. You guys already know this snake's crazy, so look at that. Even the black and white spitter, he's acting a little bit crazy. He's super dirty, so we're gonna clean him next. All right, toss that. Robert, be very careful. Now this guy is gonna love this new enclosure as well. But what we gotta do, we gotta, before we put him in there, so we're gonna have to plop him in this bin first. Look at that. Robert, did you get that on video?
Yeah.
It was fast, but you gotta be fast when you're working with venomous snakes. Right? Right in that bin. This snake is notorious for flying back up at your chest. Now, we had a short on YouTube that went viral of this guy lunging out my chest. Whew, look at that. I love working with that snake. All right, let's get this over with. This is why I love this snake. He is so fun to handle. And I love snakes that keep me on my toes. Now, this right here, this snake will make you feel alive. All right, right in there, buddy. Look at how crazy that was. He seriously stood up about 3 foot tall, lunged, and still kept his hood the whole entire time. Comment down below. What do you think about that snake? What do you think? All right, now that his cage is free, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put my sub-adult albino monocled cobra in there. Beautiful, beautiful snake. Just like I said, he was only in here temporary. Now, before we put him in his cage, we gotta throw him in here real fast and get his cage ready. All right, cage is all nice and set up. Let's go ahead and grab this beautiful. She just looks like a snake you would call Blizzard, you know what I mean? Look at that speck laying down her body. See if we can get her to hood. Yeah, now a lot of monocles, unlike that one we just handled, will act just like this. Super aggressive when you go to take them out of the cage. But once they're out, they don't even hood up, and they basically turn into beautiful little corn snakes. All right. Right in there, mama. Ooh. She's gonna love that cage.
3 days later.
And we're back. We have 3 more snakes that need to be moved into bigger enclosures. Now you guys know we moved the Indian into our new PVC enclosures. So we're gonna go ahead and move Tequila, my Arizona blacktail rattlesnake, into the Indian Cobra's old enclosure. And we're actually gonna swap the pygmy rattlesnake with the squam. Now this tank is a little bit taller and the other one is a little bit wider. Since the squam is an arboreal species, we're gonna go ahead and throw him in here. In case we get any more males or females, we'll just have about 3 or 4 squams in this vision cage right here. And then this pygmy rattlesnake will be living in this beautiful little Exoterra. All right, Tequila's new enclosure is all nice and clean. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna pop her on out of here and throw her in her nice, big, beautiful enclosure. Now I was just telling my buddy Chandler, if I have open cages, if I have bigger enclosures just sitting there waiting, why not throw a snake like this in a bigger enclosure? Now, even though the enclosure she's in is perfectly fine, we're gonna go ahead and just give her some extra space, because why not? Such a beautiful rattlesnake. Look at that, she's got a nice big log in there. These rattlesnakes, if you give them spots to climb, they will climb. So we're gonna add a few big branches and a lot of spots for her to climb because this is a huge cage right here. It's super tall, and if we give her little spots to elevate and bask and sit, she's gonna use them. Onto the pygmy.
Yes!
All right, this right here is our fiery orange African bush viper. Woohoo! This guy's colors are on fire, and I'm actually about to buy another one that's orange and yellow. And if I breed the two together, we should get some crazy babies. All right, Miss Piggy, the pygmy rattlesnake, let's go ahead and get her on out. Now, I've said this before, but this right here is actually the world's smallest species of rattlesnake. So you'll find these guys all throughout Florida, south and north, and usually they have a little pattern on the sides and on the top. But as you can see, this guy's sides are completely clean. He has a white chin underneath his mouth, and he has stripes on top of his back. So this right here is a very, very special and unique pygmy rattlesnake. Let's go ahead and pull him on out. Now, I'm actually super sad. When I first got this guy, he had a huge rattle, but it was just too big to stay on when I was handling him. And unfortunately, it did break off in the process of moving him into his new cage. Look at the belly on that snake. He's just got a snow white belly. So beautiful. Notorious for slipping off the hook, so we want to be very, very careful. All right. Right into his new cage. Look at that. Ooh, doggy. He's gonna love this enclosure. Now he's actually gonna have more square footage in this enclosure, but not as much height, but that's okay because the squam can use that height a lot more than he can. Look at that, look at the stripes on this thing's back. And his rattle is already growing back relatively quick. He already has about 4, 5 little buttons on the end of that rattle. All right guys, so we have all the labels switched around. Now if you do move a snake, you have to move the labels as well. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna grab this little squam and we're just gonna pop him in his new cage, and I guarantee this guy's gonna love it. Look at that, orange skin with green eyes. Such a crazy color combination. Now these snakes, sometimes they'll have black eyes, sometimes they'll have silver eyes, and sometimes they'll have green. This guy right here is one of the more rare ones, and he has green eyes. There you go. He's got a nice piece of wood to climb on for now. We're gonna get him something higher. He has a bunch of leaves in the back. He's got his water bowl and his nice little hide. So this right here is a perfect home for a little African bush viper. Guys, we have crazy news. Now I forgot to tell you on the last video because I was still closing the deal, but me and my buddy Patrick actually acquired 5 acres of land out in Loxahatchee, just about 5-10 minutes from my house, and that is where we'll be putting all the crocodilians over 4 feet long. So stay tuned for that. That is gonna be insane. See you guys on the next video.